Hi friends, I'm back again at 4 o'clock on a Monday talking about how we do life at home with a large family and homeschooling and businesses and that type of thing. I started doing these because of COVID and so many people being at home, and I thought, hey, I'll just start talking about how we do it and maybe encourage people that it can be done. You can have a smoothly running life with fun. We have a lot of fun here. We work hard, we play hard. We live on a farm. I have 9 children. Their ages are 29 to 28. Anyway, birthday party this month. All our kids are having birthdays right now. That's why I can't remember how old they are. So, this is my laundry day. But my girls were using the laundry equipment, and so I had to get them moving. And then I threw some in and went outside and started working in my garden. And I also had to run to town a couple times for hauling vehicles to get repaired. So that's what I've been doing today. I usually start these videos off just talking a little bit about what's going on here during the day so that it allows people to join because it's a live video. So today was laundry day, and I thought that I would talk about how we did, because now my kids are old. I already told you how old they are, but I now have 3 at home. One of them moved out over the weekend. So there's 3 at home, but they're all pretty close, and I never know how many are going to show up for supper. But anyway, back in the day, when they were all home, and we were homeschooling around the table, and I was doing my work, I have been a kind of person who likes to study and read, and I was also taking classes through the years. So I was sitting at the table either working on stuff that I was interested in or taking care of business stuff for our farm business or our side hustle type things that we had going on, while the children did their work. How do you fit laundry on top of that? That has always been a question that I've gotten, and I'll probably get it a million more times as long as I'm talking about doing life at home and homeschooling and that lifestyle. So this is how I did it. I used a timer, and I also had a goal of how many loads I needed to do in the day. I've talked about that before. We had a large family. We live on a farm, so a lot of our clothes were dirty, really dirty, not just, a little dirt. No, we had some dirty clothes here. So my daily goal in the early years, well, not the early years, the middle years, was 4 loads by 4. There were years where it was 4 loads by 10. On a laundry day, I wanted to do laundry, have it cycling every time it buzzed, which is about an hour. So every hour I wanted to change loads. So fitting laundry in with school meant that I had to listen for the buzzer or else use a timer, which a lot of times I did use a timer. I wore aprons a lot at home just because I was always in the kitchen and working and being messy and dirty with kitchen stuff, and it had a pocket, and I just had a timer in my pocket. So then every hour, I would change the loads. I would also assign children to assign the loads. So it might be part of their schoolwork. Like they were to work on math or language arts for an hour, and then it was their job to go switch the laundry loads. And then they came back on, yes, it is a game changer to use a timer. It just helps get the day into a certain rhythm. So anyway, the children would have it part of their school schedule, where they would do certain things, and then it was their job to switch loads, and then it might be someone else's job. If I was switching loads, I would take the troublemaker with me, which is usually a toddler or preschooler, the person who is being a little disruptive. That person came along with me, and I would have them help change the loads or sort the laundry, whatever the job was that I went to the laundry room to do. That person helped me do it. Help. So again, I beat this drum like crazy. Have your children work with you and give them work to do and assign them work to do. If they are responsible for certain jobs, it builds their self-esteem, it builds their skills, it makes them feel like a contributing person in the family, that they are helping the group, they are helping the effort. And then when they go other places, it translates. So if we were going to a church potluck or something, I would always just say, remember to be a helper. And they would just dive right in. They were washing the dishes, they were helping set up tables or tear down or chairs or whatever. The kids always were helpful for that because they learned it at home. So encourage your children to do that, but also teach them at home that when you go someplace, be a helper. So fitting laundry in with schoolwork meant using the timer and requiring the kids to take on responsibility too for certain tasks, all the kids. And bring your little preschoolers and toddlers along when you're doing the work and have them help. And they're learning when they're working with you. Even if they're just watching, they're learning. They learn so much just by watching. I always said watching is learning. And I would not swish them away, but keep them close. Plus, if you keep them close, you're able to speak to them. And also, doing things together builds relationships with whoever you're with. I mean, it counts as for adults. When you do something with somebody and you're talking and you're working on something or you're just having fun together, that builds relationships. That counts for your kids too. You're not just responsible for their schoolwork or making sure that they're getting to their activity, whatever it is. It's about relationships. If you aren't doing things with people, with your children, don't expect to have a relationship with them because it's not going to happen. Same goes for, I already said that, with friends, community, that kind of thing. When you work together on something, you're building relationships, you're talking, communicating, and you're making connections that are encouraging and speaking into other people's lives. So that brings me to the other thing I wanted to talk about today, and that is teaching your children to be loving and kind and compassionate at home, because that's where they learn it. That's where they learn it. Your voice needs to be the most influential in their life. Actually, it kind of is, but if you have more time, like I was talking about, if you have more time and connection with them and a relationship with them and doing things with them, then you're able to speak into their life and you are encouraging them to be loving, to be kind, to be compassionate. So when these things come up in the media or in your community, and they're aware of it, I think a lot of times little children need protected from what's going on as much as they can. And a lot of it is really heavy and hard to understand, even for adults. What's true, what's not. Go clear back to Corona, and now it's a hard world we're living in right now. So I guess my biggest point is teach your children to be compassionate and to understand that there is a bigger thing going on in another person's life that you can't see, that you don't understand, and you need to be able to try to. You need to be able to try to. You need to listen to other people's stories and not be dismissive, to understand what they're going through and why they are going through it. I think it's important to teach our children that hurt people. We can see that in our families, in our household, just living life, just children playing with each other, getting upset with each other, or with their friends, that kind of thing. Hurt people hurt people. So they can understand that on a child level. Adults also do that. Hurt people hurt people. So that's one thing. I think it's really important to teach our children at home. Another one is a lot of times anger is a mask for sadness. So think about that a little bit and teach that one to your children. I have to get rid of this notification because it annoys me when there's stuff up there on the phone when I'm trying to talk about important stuff, like anger is a mask for sadness. So when we can see that at home too, when people are angry, what are they? They're sad, or they're disappointed, or they're frustrated, and that emotion is hard to understand, especially for children, and hard to deal with. And then what comes out is anger, and they're lashing out. Same thing for adults. It's not pretty. We don't like it. We don't like to see it. We don't know what to do about it a lot of times. And then we can feel helpless too in our homes with, I live in rural America, rural Iowa, 10 miles from the closest town. So I live in this little bubble. That's different than a lot of people I know live. We did spend 2 years in St. Louis, and that was a real eye-opener for me that I won't talk about right now. But I had a daily experience, well, not daily, but I worked at a birth center, and almost daily I would come home with a story or with an experience, or I'd heard something, and I would have to say, I did not know. I did not know. I did not know. I did, because I lived in a bubble. I lived in rural Iowa, and then I lived in rural Idaho. And then I moved to the St. Louis area. I can tell stories, but really the biggest thing, I think the takeaway is I didn't know, and we don't know someone else's experience unless we have heard it and we are able to try to understand from that person's point of view, and then we can have compassion. Before that, did you see the steps I put on the story? Please look at the story. I put a graphic up. Pity. Don't stop there. Put in the extra effort for sympathy, for empathy, and compassion. That takes effort, and we need to teach our children to take that effort to understand, to listen, and have compassion. Build that compassion for other people, because what is the opposite of love? Hate. What is love? Love is compassion. Christ had compassion on us. We need to be gracious with our families, with other people, with the people in our communities, the people that we interact with, the people that we don't know in different parts of the world who are experiencing horrific things, or just anything that we don't understand. We have to stop, and we have to teach our children. We have to teach our children these things. When they're interacting with each other, tell them to stop. Don't just fly in there and you sit here and you sit there, and you got to work stuff through with them, and that takes effort. That takes effort, and you have to go to that extra effort to teach them love and compassion. I don't think it's going to come very naturally. It doesn't come without understanding the gospel, Jesus, and the compassion that he had on us, and translating that grace into how we are with other people. So I will stop there. Please go to my story. There's a graphic in there that kind of gives a really great visual, I think. And have compassion with the people in your own family. Maybe not just even your children, your immediate family, but your extended family. Other people. Try to see things from their point of view. We only understand our own story. We don't understand the perspective of other people. I've had that with my children. I saw a situation, and I spoke words from my perspective, and this is multiple times, like every day. It's a daily occurrence. And someone else sees the situation and they say words, they are experiencing it differently. That doesn't mean that their perspective is not true and mine is true. No, that's arrogant. We each have different perspectives, and we each have different ways of seeing things. We have to help our children understand that concept. And it might not happen for, until, I don't know, they're probably older. The older they get, the more they can understand it. I'm not saying don't teach it to little children. Please teach it to little children. But they might not get a fuller understanding until they're 25. I don't know, when that prefrontal cortex finishes growing. So I'll stop there. Please let me know if you have any questions, or if you have any further comments. Go ahead and leave comments. And come back tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Tomorrow, I'm not sure what I'm talking about. I guess I'll see what blows up in the world tomorrow. Here at home, I want to switch up my office day and my town day. So I think I might go to town tomorrow and have my office later in the week, my office day. That's what's happening here. If you have any struggles with home management, if you know of anybody who does, send them to our website, homeplainandsimple.com. There is a quick start guide there. There's a menu plan, and there is links to where you can buy Home Management Plain and Simple on Amazon, the book or the Kindle version. And we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining me. Bye.